Welcome to the Be Your Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sky Bradshaw. In today's episode, we discuss acceptance as a form of love, and each of these three segments expand on that topic. So be sure to listen through to the end for helpful tips, tools, and guidance on how to do the work. In the Skylight segment of today's show, we talk with Paul Beaubrun, a Haitian singer, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, and producer who is carrying a beautiful legacy of talent with grace. You won't want to miss our conversation. But before we dive into the Unclouded Heart segment for spiritual messages of wisdom, let's invite ourselves to become present in this moment within our body, mind, and energy. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, invite your mind, body, and energy to relax, 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 relax. Relax, relax. Relax, relax. Relax, relax. Relax, relax. And as we move into this space of complete relaxation, we open up our energies to the ancestors, loved ones, and friends to come together today to heal and guide us and lift us to the highest version of ourselves in the light of the universe, so we may hear what we need to hear, know what we need to know, connect how we need to connect, and be what we need to be for our highest and best good and the highest and best good of all involved, as we open up space to give and receive. Acceptance as a form of love. There's a certain beauty in the energy of acceptance. It's a way of saying, I love you just as you are, without conditions or expectations. This simple yet profound expression of love resonates deeply, whether we are directing it towards ourselves or extending it to others. When we practice acceptance, we offer a kind embrace that honors who we are in this moment, acknowledging both our strengths and our vulnerabilities. This unconditional acceptance creates space for mindful, present-based connections. By embracing ourselves and others without judgment, we allow genuine interactions to flourish, free from fear of rejection or the pressure to conform. This presence fosters a deeper understanding and empathy, strengthening our relationships and promoting emotional well-being. Moreover, acceptance grants us the freedom to start where we are, embracing our current reality while opening the door to growth and possibility. Acceptance isn't condoning bad behavior. It's about recognizing and embracing our humanity, allowing us to address challenges in a present moment reality with compassion and understanding. It doesn't mean complacency or stagnation. Rather, it encourages us to build on our own unique experiences and qualities in this moment. It shows us that by accepting things just as they are, we create a solid foundation for healthy growth and change, setting intentions free from limitations of unrealistic standards. It prevents us from waiting for a future moment we believe we should reach, a moment we might never obtain if we don't begin where we are. This loving approach provides the encouragement and self-assurance needed to evolve, knowing that our worth is not dependent on constant improvement, but is inherent in our very being. As we reflect on the power of acceptance, let's remember that it's not about settling for less or ignoring our potential for growth. Instead, it's about recognizing the inherent worth within ourselves and others, just as we are. This gentle act of love allows us to connect more deeply and authentically, paving the way for genuine transformation. By embracing acceptance, we allow ourselves to appreciate the beauty of the present moment and unlock the endless possibilities of the future. So, let's commit to practicing acceptance, knowing that it's a profound form of love that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us.
Production of the Be Your Soul podcast is made possible in part by Tarot by Sky, because it's your future. Tarot by Sky offers intuitive tarot and energy healing sessions, as well as life coaching, classes, spiritual guidance, and more. Offering sessions via Zoom, email, phone, or in the office in Greensboro, North Carolina, Sky is ready to help you turn change into growth. Book your session today on the web at tarotbysky.com and find her on Facebook and Instagram at Tarot by Sky.
Today, we are so grateful to have the spiritually gifted and incredibly talented Paul Beaubrun with us. As a Haitian singer, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, and producer, Paul carries forward a beautiful legacy of artistry and profound spiritual perspective. Together, we'll explore how his unique blend of talent and spirituality illuminates the concept of acceptance as a form of love. I'm so excited and grateful to be able to connect, and I know there will be lots of nuggets of wisdom in this one. So thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really, really honored to have you as a guest and talk about acceptance as a form of love. Thanks for being here.
Honor is mine. I'm happy the way we connected to the live and we were all having a conversation. The honor is mine. This is the type of conversation that we all need, right? Today,
Right.
This moment, the present moment, you and I, to connect like that. Yes, this is my food for the day.
Me too. That's that precious soul nutrients that are so good.
Yes.
So when you think of that acceptance piece that you're kind of talking about on live and how it helps create a fulfilling life, like how does it show up for you and what do you think about it? Like what does acceptance mean to you?
This is everything happens for a reason, right? This is exactly where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like everything is always connected to where you are. And I'm not shocked at all anymore that you're bringing the subject right now, because there's a lot of things happening in life where you have to acceptance and love. For example, I'm in Haiti right now.
Mm-hmm.
To give a quick example, yesterday I had no electricity at my house, no Wi-Fi, no internet. So, but there's a shift in perspective to be like, you know what? Less screen time, less this, less that, more within.
Mm-hmm.
So it became that form for me in that way where I'm like, it's simple, but at the same time, the simplest things are the ones that's gonna show you the biggest wisdom and in you, right?
Exactly.
It
Sometimes
shows me.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, sometimes I try and remind people, like whether we accept it or not accept it, it's still happening. So like when you don't have electricity, like not accepting you don't have electricity doesn't turn it on. It just makes your experience without it worse, because what you want to happen and what is happening is different. It also doesn't mean that you don't make a choice to go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to alter my day in this way and use choice and decision to create a happiness that maybe I wouldn't have done had this not happened. So you don't just sit on your hands and say, life is horrible. This didn't go the way I thought. You just go like, okay, how do I work with that and still grow, still change, still learn?
Exactly. It was beautiful. I rested, just took some moment to myself, and I just put the phone away, and it's okay. And I was listening to the birds at my house and have a conversation with nature, the air coming in. And that's exactly the way that I wanted. It's not like sometimes we have the need to control. I could have went and get a generator get gas, I could do all of that, put some electricity right now and have Wi-Fi right now. No, I decided, no, this is perfect. Exactly
Right.
the way it is. Exactly where I am. I'm gonna take it exactly like that and accept what's happening now and use it, because the universe is always for us. It's always in our favor, and
Hmm.
we just have to yeah, accept. But it goes to many different subjects. It goes in many different aspects in our life, right? But to me, that was the point where it's more. This is the simplest thing you can do. It's
Hmm.
now your circumstances now. It can be mental. It can be
Right.
you love someone, that person is not giving you the same back. It can be something you want, it's not coming. Anything that it can be. But the second that you accept, you surrender to the universe.
Hmm.
I surrender to you. I surrender to however you want to call it. It brings you that peace, and it brings you the level of comfort.
Hmm.
Yeah, you feel comfortable because you're present. You're in the here. You're in the now. You're appreciating the little ants walking. You're appreciating the wind. You're appreciating the birds in Haiti. It's beautiful to me. The energy.
Hmm.
I wrote two songs yesterday. When I was there. So
That's
it's like
exciting for the
so many
world.
things happen. Yeah, beautiful.
See,
Yeah.
that's what the world can be grateful for, that piece that you had then.
Oh, I'm grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes people get caught up in that control aspect because they have an expectation. They think today was going to be A, B, C, and D. And then when it
Yeah.
doesn't turn into that, then they've already kind of predetermined a disappointment instead of
Yeah.
saying, like, well, God says, meet me halfway, I'll see you there, sort of
Yeah.
feeling of like, how are you actively participating while also letting like spirit come in and guide you in that way, and knowing nobody knows better than source. Nobody knows
No
better
one
than
knows that.
spirit. And so like just allowing that to be a truth.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. This is, yeah.
And I also feel like that sometimes that ego aspect gets caught up because we believe accepting is like condoning. So if we look at like interpersonal relationships, like you were saying, someone not being who you thought they were in a relationship, we think
Hmm.
if we go, oh, I see, I know my favorite Haitian saying is, do not anger the donkey for not being a horse. And so, so so if we are trying to make someone into something that they're not,
Yeah.
then they're not only do they get encapsulated, like we hold them in place, we hold them in
Hmm.
kind of ransom to our expectation,
Yeah.
and then they can't grow, they can't change, because
Yeah.
we are trying to start them at a point where they aren't in this
They
moment.
aren't
We're
there. Yes.
right. And so
There's
I
no
think,
point. Yeah.
yeah, you
You're
got to
right.
start where you are.
You're right. There's absolutely no point to do that because it's not going to get anywhere. Exactly. I love your perspective on that. You see them they're stuck, in your mind. You keep them stuck in a box somewhere where they're
Mm-hmm.
not even there. It's such an
Right.
illusion in your mind. It's not even, doesn't even exist because
Exactly.
they are not there. So,
Right. And so then neither can happen. They can't grow from where they are because you're not seeing them, and they can't get out of the box because they're not there.
they're
And
not there.
so
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you're just like, there's a Buddhist belief, a Buddhist philosophy, that awareness without acceptance is suffering, which means like if
Mm,
I am aware of what's happening, I have no electricity, or that person isn't who I thought they were, but then I don't accept it, like I'm creating a level of personal suffering because
yeah.
of that non acceptance.
Yes. We tend to create a movie, right? We
Mm-hmm.
tend to create a whole character, which we create for ourselves too. It's not like Well, we can establish something with everyone listening to now. We're not. I'm not talking for you, but I can say we're not talking in duality here. It's not about being good or it's not being bad,
Right.
but it's all about having the perspective to not suffer, to not make yourself suffer in a way where exactly what you were saying. It's a place to be where the suffering is not necessary there. It's
Mm-hmm.
never necessary, but you create it and then you ask yourself, oh, I'm suffering, but you're the one who created that whole
Right.
movie. You
Right.
created that whole character. You
Exactly.
have to, that's the awareness to have. But yes, the acceptance needs to be there in order to, it's like a partnership. They need to be strong together and walk together so that you can be at peace with yourself, fully at peace.
And if you want change, if you want something different, you have to start where you are. So
Yes.
even whether you like it or don't like it, like starting where you are gives you the opportunity to make, my one of my personal philosophies is truth brings choice. So if you look at something in the truth of what it is in this moment, then you make choices based on that. But if I said I'm going to New York and then I started acting like I was in New York and I didn't pack a bag or take a plane, like
Mm-hmm.
I would just look silly and not get good food. So
True. I know a lot of good food in New York. You're right.
it's
Truth
true.
bring choice. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna meditate on that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truth
That's
bring choice. Yeah. Truth bring choice. Can you elaborate on that a little
sure.
bit?
If we make, like, say I made a choice based on an untruth, my belief, the story in my
Mm-hmm.
head, all
Mm-hmm.
of the choices that I made from there would be going from that mark. So, like,
Oh,
and that takes me out of choices. Like, lose I lose the ability to make choices. Like,
yeah.
if you sat and waited for the electricity came on and your only truth was I need electricity in order to be able to function, then all the rest of your day wouldn't have happened. But
Yeah.
by working in that acceptance, that truth, the truth is I don't know when the electricity is going to be on. Let
Yes.
me see what choices I have based on that. Then it
Yes.
gives you that expansion and ability to feel empowered versus limited and feeling like something's happening to you.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for
Mm-mm.
sharing. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're giving me some beautiful nuggets with some
Yes.
ketchup.
Yes, that's what I like. That's
I love it.
shared nuggets is always good.
Yes.
So I also think that using that truth brings choice like helps you move better. That acceptance factor helps you move better through conflict too.
Yeah.
So, if we look at, the feeling of conflict and how that comes forward, is there, or other, already told a beautiful story about the electricity, but have there been times where you felt stuck and then kind of surrendered into that acceptance that it
Yeah.
helped you move?
Yes. Yes. I've been so many times where it's trapped. It's literally you trapped in
Mm-hmm.
your mind and where there were no awareness. But
Mm-hmm.
something happened to me this year actually. That's where more of the awareness of the acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it came from the simple truth to me was don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself. Don't do this. That beautiful self, your you have to honor yourself fully. Don't lie to yourself. That was the thing that opened a lot of doors for me to go to self-love, self-acceptance, surrendering,
Mm-hmm.
because I just accepted where I was,
Mm-hmm.
which probably before would condemn myself, judge myself. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm like, no, there's no such things as condemning or judging. There's no such thing. It is what it is. It's where I am. It's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And all I need to do is have some awareness, give it some light, but at the same time, dancing with the shadow, the light dancing with the shadow. And it's okay. It's fine to feel
Mm-hmm.
a certain way. Also, you go deeper into your thoughts and you asking yourself, what are thoughts? What are they? Or is it me? I realize, no, I am not my thoughts. This is not
Mm-hmm.
me. This is a construct of what I probably my trauma, childhood stuff, things that I've just seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like food. What you choose to put in your body, maybe the song that I was hearing, news, whatever it is, my environment.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's creating all of that. That's
Right.
creating the thought. But I that's not me. That's not the awareness in me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the observer. And it's okay to have the thoughts also, because the mind, the body is such a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's our friend. It's
Right.
there to help us in many different things that we do, and like millions of things that we don't even think about.
Mm-hmm. Somebody told me once, you can't control your first thought, but you can definitely control your second.
Ah, never heard that. That's a great one.
So we're going to like have the thought, but what we do with it is up to us. And that's where that acceptance comes in. It's like,
Yeah,
that sort of the other thing I think that is always, always contemplating about or meditating on or sitting with is the idea that like judgment doesn't really ever look at the good. Like
yeah,
we're not judging how, I'm not saying my judgment isn't counting the ways I've been blessed. My judgment isn't
yeah,
counting like the good I've done in the world. It's like, so
yeah,
we know when we introduce judgment and we're introducing the critic, we're introducing like counting the things I think I did wrong or counting
yeah.
the thing. And so like that's also where it gets tricky because our mind is meant to kind of discern, and then humans somehow turn it into judgment of things, which is
Sense of judgment.
tricky.
Yeah. And again, to the judgment goes back to you being trapped in a way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's not liberating. You're right. It's not, there's no, it's okay. It's fine. It's like the wind. It's like, yeah, let it be. Let it. I remember going through my transformation this year. One of the songs that stuck with me loudly one morning after meditation was "Let It Be" by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Just loud. And I
Mm.
was asking Source, what should I do at this moment? I like talk to me. And then that song just all of a sudden, let it be, let it be. And I could not escape that song. I could not go anywhere else. I'm like, okay, okay. That's the wisdom right there. There's wisdom, and let things be. Look at nature. You
Mhm.
cannot control it. You cannot put your hand and be like, every time we try to control it, there's going to be a consequence. Yeah, you know
Mhm.
it's coming, of course, because you can't. And going back to, there's something you said about thoughts. The first thought, when the first thought happens, the second thought, that's when you're going to choose, are you going to be part of that movie or not? Are you
Mhm.
going to be part in that character, and then you're going to identify, and then you're going to invest into the thought, oh yeah, that's right. These
Mhm.
people did that to me, and then I'm gonna feel a certain way about it. And then you
Mhm.
investing your emotion and you go into it, and then you creating that whole movie into your head. That's a whole illusion of it. And yes, that's the second thought that you
Right.
you agree to go in. Yeah, by choice.
By choice. And that's, if we look at energetic property, like how the energy in the body works, one of the things that we know is like energy attracts like energy, and energy multiplies upon itself. So if the first thought comes and I give it the second thought, then it's going to turn from 2 into 4 and 4 into 8 and 8 into 16. But if I neutralize it with a more
Yeah,
healthy thought, then it just dissipates and it moves through the
Yeah.
system and is released.
Yeah. What I see, it's something that I learned from a friend of mine. When a thought that you don't prefer comes to you, yes, you accept it. At the same time, you ask, what's in there for me? What
Mm-hmm.
like this? You accept it, but you told me he always goes into, okay, I'm thinking that, but what's in there for me? Like what should I see here that I can learn from, or is
Right.
there wisdom in there? And I found
Mm-hmm.
it very, very helpful. It was very helpful for me because I found a way for the second thought to be like, okay, it's there. What should I look here really? What's the
Right.
deepest thing? Why am I feeling this way towards that? And then you
Mm-hmm.
go into that, you look at yourself, and then you might see it right away, but you might also take some time, but it's something for you to look at in yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Generally, yeah.
And that goes into that truth brings choice. Because if my critic says to me, like the first thought is like, who do you think you are doing that thing?
Yeah.
Then if I take that and say, who do I think I am? I'm someone
Who
who
do I
has
think I am?
done this. I've done that, like, okay, here
Yeah.
I am. Like I need work over here. And then instead of judgment answering the question, then it's our authenticity, our true self,
Yes.
our love of self-acceptance. And so I think it's really powerful practice. I love that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you to my friend. Thank
Thank
you.
you to your friend.
Thank you very
For
much. Yes.
sure. So every podcast, I ask 3 questions of every
Okay.
guest and see what they come up with. The first one is, what do you think it means to be your soul?
I don't think it means anything.
Hmm.
I think I don't think it means anything to be a soul, but I think it's more of a a knowing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I love that's actually my favorite answer so far. Um, so, what's one thing that you do in order to be sure to get your self care every day?
Mm. To put the phone away.
Mm,
It might sound simple, but put the phone away. But when you put the phone away, you have time.
mhm,
Also, you create time. We always have time. It's eternal. It's always gonna be.
mhm,
But putting the phone away for me, it just gives me the sense of, again, acceptance of where I am, where I'm sitting,
mhm,
acceptance with my thoughts, with where I am, and be one with nature, birds. If I'm drinking tea, I'm really sipping the tea. I'm taking my time. I'm smelling it, whatever. So I'm drinking a juice. It's just more present, present
mhm.
without the phone.
Yeah, I'm more present without the phone too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what does centered and balanced look like in your world?
Hmm. What is centered and balanced look like? I had a vision that I want to share
Mhm.
with you. Centered and balanced, we went over it a little bit in the conversation. Is when, and I have a question for you after,
Okay,
because
yes.
I want to learn. I want to get something from you.
Okay.
Centered and balanced is when your intuition in your heart, in your mind, can be one.
Mm,
The vision that I saw it's like a 3, right? It's a 3, but if you flip the 3, if you flip the 3 to threes, it becomes a 8, which is eternal. Like it becomes a 8. But the 3 is very important to align them.
mhm,
And from what I see from that is your intuition that goes to your heart, and then your mind. As we know, the mind is such a powerful tool, but
mhm.
our mind is not our source. It cannot give us inspiration. It can only give us memories. and we have to be able to make the distinction, but at the same time, they have to be one. That means everything that comes from you. Now I'm choosing to speak from my heart, not from my mind, not from my what I knew before. It's coming from my heart, my deep intuition from source. And that's, to me, that's what being balanced. And in Haiti, we have a saying that I learned. It's what you're saying, what you're doing, and what you're thinking has to be one. That's what being balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. This is my question for you is, tell me, when do you know is the mind, the thoughts going, or when is your intuition?
Sure. So that's actually, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to send you a little exercise that I do, but I went really deep into trying to discover how to be able to tell the difference, because a lot of times our ego tricks us, and we try and tune in. And so I think it takes knowing yourself very deeply. I think it takes like a sense of being able, just like, when a family member calls and they're on the phone, we recognize their voice. We know who they are. They don't have to say, "Hey, this is me." We go, "Oh, I know you. Like I sense you. I feel you. I hear you. I know you." And when we get into, for me personally, like when I get into, like when I know the parts of myself, I know what's the thoughts, what's the voice of the thinking mind, what's the voice of the true self. Like, and because of a lot of the work I do, like I also need to know, like, what's the voice of the ancestors? Like, what's the voice of higher vibrational beings, like what's the voice of that? And so that way I'm not doing what a lot of humans do, which is like filtering everything through my ego and like I said or I did. It's like, no, I received, I heard, I felt. Like, this is how I can tell the difference, is like really knowing myself lets me know what I'm hearing, what I'm listening to. That's what I feel like.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. I want to share something with that.
Absolutely.
It's something I went deep also into the question of the thought, like and then with the intuition. What I found for me, when it's intuition, to me, it's just a knowing. Because the intuition is just moving you into the vibration, the highest vibration possible, right? It's moving you. But at the same time, the intuition cannot tell you yes or no, because the intuition will never violate your free will.
Right.
But the thoughts will.
Exactly.
Like, no, don't do that. Yes, don't do that. No, don't do that. This is not good for you. This is bad for you. Oh, yes, this is amazing for you. That's a thought, which is, it's fine too. It's okay. But I understand intuition is not that. It's the still voice, but it will only guide you into your knowingness, into the highest vibration possible. But if you just follow, you go with the flow, you're always gonna go into that knowing of how to do things, and you're gonna dance with it instead of the mind, and it's gonna go with the fear. It's gonna go with all of that. You go into the intuition. That's what I don't know.
That is beautiful. That was
that?
good. Yeah. Yes, I received that. That is really good.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. It's always been something deep for me. I was going through that thought a lot. So that, how do I know it's the intuition or it's the thought? I'm like, oh, we have free will. It cannot tell you. It cannot tell me yes or no, but it can guide me.
Right.
Into my preferred highest possible outcome.
Right.
If I just follow. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Now it's just the practice of, I love what you're saying about knowing the voice and all of that. I
Exactly.
recorded that in my head now. To know the voice, you have to know the voice.
You
They
do,
are
because
different. They are
they're
different.
very
Yeah.
different. You know which one, like, it not, you don't have to wait till it tries to manipulate you to be able to know when
Yeah.
you know yourself,
Yeah.
right? Then you don't have to go, because that's the other thing. Like, our ego is, cunning and tricky. So it's gonna try
Yes.
and it's gonna try and trick us often, just because that's its job. But not good or bad. It's just its job. It serves a purpose.
Full-time job.
Full-time job.
Wait overtime.
For sure. Thank you so much for being here. This was such a great conversation. I knew it
Thank
was going
you.
to be. So,
Yeah.
do you want to shout out your shows and your album and all of those things so people know where to find you?
Yes. The next show, I think people can find me on like Instagram, Paul Beaubrun. That's where I connect with a lot of people there. You'll see the show, you'll see where I'm gonna be. My website is on Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Instagram is where I am more.
And you do great
But other,
lives. You do really great
yeah,
lives.
I will do more. I will do more. I love the conversation we were all having, and
Mm-hmm.
of course your questions and everyone questions. It was all a community. Exactly what you're doing. I can feel it's the
Mm-hmm.
same tribe. We're a family, and
Yeah.
thank you for. I'm remembering things again, and being in the present moment, being in the now, and giving me these downloads to go into the world, to remember, to be a
Mm-hmm.
member of that tribe again, to be a member again,
Yes.
and again, to accept that you have to die every day,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then you're reborn.
you're reborn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it can happen the second, it can happen every minute, it can happen anytime you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such an acceptance for me to not hold on to the old self, to just let go again, accept where you are in the now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. It was such a
Thank you.
pleasure. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us on this journey of acceptance as a form of love. Your presence here means the world, and I want to acknowledge the power of the choices you make each day. By tuning in and embracing the concept of elevating your voice with love, compassion, and acceptance, you're not only transforming your own life, but also contributing to the collective energy that surrounds us all.
Production of the Be Your Soul podcast is made possible in part by Little Energies, a children's chakra-aligned oracle deck. Little Energies is made specifically for children to learn and support their own healthy energy system. These 24 chakra-aligned oracle cards focus on energy wellness through mantras, exercises, and envisioning. Find more information at littleenergies.com. That's LITTLEENERGIES.com.
In this segment, I offer tools and guidance that I have found helpful in my practice, and maybe you will too. So let's go a little deeper. As usual, we'll grab our trusty journal and favorite writing utensil and tune in to how to do the work. In this journaling exercise, we'll explore the power of acceptance as a form of love for both ourselves and others. Acceptance is about embracing our own imperfections and those of the people around us. It's a practice that opens our hearts, deepens our connections, and fosters a more compassionate way of living. By taking a few moments to reflect and set intentions, we can cultivate a mindset of acceptance that enriches our lives and enhances our relationships. So let's dive into these 3 steps to discover how accepting ourselves and others can lead to a more loving and fulfilling life. Step 1, Reflect on what acceptance means to you. Start by finding a quiet, comfortable place where you can reflect without interruptions. Take a deep breath and center yourself. Now, open your journal and write down your first thoughts when it comes to the word acceptance. What does acceptance mean to you when you think about it for yourself? How do you feel when you fully accept who you are, flaws and all? Write freely about your emotions, memories, or any personal experiences related to self-acceptance. Allow yourself to explore your relationship with this concept and how it shaped your journey. Now take a moment and look at acceptance of others. Does it come more easily? Is it situational? Are there times when accepting others is harder? Journal that as well. Step 2, identify a situation where acceptance transformed a relationship. Think of a time when you chose to accept someone just for who they are, rather than trying to change them. This could be with a friend, family member, or maybe even a colleague. How did acceptance impact your relationship? Did it create a deeper bond or bring a sense of peace? Write about this experience in detail. Focus on how your choice to accept that person for who they are served as an act of love and strengthened your connection. What about it was hard? Where did you find struggle in doing so? How did you overcome that struggle? Journal that. Step 3, set an intention for practicing acceptance. Now that you've reflected on acceptance for yourself and others, consider how you can bring more of this energy into your daily life. Write down 1 or 2 specific intentions or actions you can take to practice acceptance more deeply. Here are 3 suggestions to help you get started. Practice self-compassion. When you make a mistake or face challenges, remind yourself that it's okay to be imperfect. Use affirmations like, I accept myself as I am, with all my strengths and all my flaws. This will help to cultivate kindness and understanding towards yourself. Embrace differences in others. Instead of trying to change people, approach them with curiosity, inquisitiveness, and an openness to understand them. If someone is different, choose to connect with them through their differences, creating a bond rooted in both your unique qualities. Different is not bad. It does not always need to be fixed. Recognizing this helps you build stronger, more accepting relationships. Every soul on this planet is unique, which means their experiences and how they express themselves will also be distinct. Wouldn't life be boring if we were all exactly the same? Create a daily acceptance ritual. Incorporate a small ritual into your day to reinforce your commitment to acceptance. This could be a moment of mindful breathing, a short meditation, or writing down 3 things you accept about yourself or others. Consistent practice helps make acceptance a natural and effortless part of your daily life. By setting these intentions, you're actively choosing to embrace acceptance as a form of love for yourself and others. And remember, take your time with each step. Feel free to revisit these prompts as often as you need. Every step you take towards embracing acceptance, whether it's in small everyday moments or larger life decisions, is a meaningful act of love for yourself and others. Acceptance allows us to live more authentically, to connect more deeply with others, and to create space where love can flourish. It's work well done. So honor your progress, no matter how big or small. And remember that you are worthy of the love that comes from true acceptance. May you be well. May you find peace. May you feel blessed. And may you be whole.
If this exercise resonated with you, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. There you'll find a wealth of free, high-quality content that delves deep into understanding the energy system and how it applies to real life. Our expertly created videos are designed to help you unlock your potential and truly embody your soul. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to support our podcast and stay updated with our latest content. For quick access to our classroom, episodes, Patreon, guest information, and more, visit our website at beyoursoul.org.